Studio check.
Frequencies check.
We are live on air.
You are listening to The It Factor, blessing the airwaves. Take the journey into the world of sports, news, entertainment, while embracing the hottest beats on the planet. Rocking the mind, body, and with energy, electricity, and a splash of controversy. Now, without further ado, it's our pleasure to bring to you
The biggest show in the world.
The biggest show in the world.
the biggest show in the world, the SBTV Nation.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. We are back. We are the SBTV Nation. We are live on Twitter, having a good time. It's the 2nd of April, and it is opening day of Major League Baseball. Dr. Dan, you must be excited over there, kid. What's up?
Oh, man, the long wait, the freeze, like finally defrosting. It's time.
It is time. Dream, good morning to you, brother.
What's happening, man? How you doing today?
I am feeling pretty good. I had a great day yesterday, guys. Listen, we've been off the show for a few days. There's been a reason for it. I learned a couple of weeks ago that there was some challenges with my wife's health. We had a cancer scare. They found something that was enlarged inside of her. They had to get it out. Luckily for her, yesterday was all good news. They were able to cut everything out, and now she's just got to go under some intense precautionary stuff for the rest of her life, but we're in good shape, guys.
Right on. That's amazing to hear. Blessings you and your family.
Yeah, it's really good, man. So it's been a stressful little time here, but we're good to go, man. So good morning to everybody. We are the SBTV Nation, and Dream, congratulations on North Carolina making the championship game.
Thank you. Not the greatest game. North Carolina's in game. It's the second time I saw them do it. They could have covered the spread yesterday. I felt bad for spread. A lot of spread people. A lot of people took North Carolina with the spread and got smoked. This is why we money line. But yesterday there was like no reason for them to not cover that spread. They got real sloppy at the end of that game. I love Meeks. I think Meeks is an awesome player. Had we been on the show yesterday, I was going to talk about him, being a lot of people. I don't think he gets as much attention as far as his ability for North Carolina as some of the other players. But Meeks is a huge additive to their game. My only issue is I hate Meeks inbounding the pass in the tight end game situation.
Not a smart situation.
I know it's worked, obviously, but 2 games ago, it almost bounced back to bite him in the face. Yesterday was a little bit shaky. I just hit him in that spot.
Yeah.
Well, that's again, North Carolina surviving despite of their coach. And I know a lot of people love the coach, and I don't understand why. I get it to a point, right? Like, never after a
it's like your grandfather. Like everybody's grandfather, Dan.
Yeah. Like you love him, and like you're like, all right, he's cool, but like he's going a little bit. You're not sure if he's making those right decisions. Dream, on the Kennedy Meeks thing, I wonder if people don't love him as much because I'm not sure if he translates to the NBA as well as some of the other guys, just because he won't be the biggest dude on the floor anymore.
And I agree with you about that.
But for college, he's definitely underrated.
Sure, I think you're dead on, spot on with every observation of that, but I just think some of the other athletes just outshine him because never respects the offensive rebounder and the rebounder guy never really gets, any of the accolades. It's always the, flashy shooters, the dunkers. Meeks kind of blue collar, a little bit on the heavy side, a little bit lazy. You see him come stumbling, bumbling, fumbling down. He's not clumsy. I won't give him that, but you see him run the floor. He isn't out there looking like he's like really tearing it up as far as energy level is concerned. And maybe some of that lethargicism, we could say, maybe it's why he doesn't get enough accolades. But dude is a big presence, and they're going to need him hugely.
Oh, yeah.
On Monday.
Oh, definitely, man.
That is.
And you know what? I mean, towards the end of the game, the missed free throws. Oh,
and then you want to talk about lazy, though. I mean, Oregon, can you box out
my God.
time?
Yeah,
One time?
You know what? North Carolina's been prone for that. Between the defense at the end of the game and the rebounding, that's what's putting them, over the top here. And, I think we could probably put to rest the strength of schedule issue with Gonzaga, because Gonzaga's been winning. They're in the championship game, guys. At the end of the day, they're there. Bottom line.
Yeah, no, they're there. It doesn't matter how you get there.
Yeah.
At the same time, both of these teams, and I know you guys are going to really break this down, tomorrow, what have you, but they both tend to choke towards the end of games. I mean, if you look at how these games are played, they're very lucky to have survived a couple games.
I agree.
They both have given up late runs. Like Dream said, I mean, I felt, lucky yesterday. I had both dogs with the points, and at both times, you were like, oh, you're dead in the water. And then they just, let both teams come back in. I mean, with Oregon, I get it a little more than what happened to Gonzaga, because Oregon's offense is legit, and that defense at one point was stifling. But you're right, Dream. Like, having Meeks inbound passes, and then you seem to have the wrong guy with the ball in his hands at the wrong time, sloppy play, turnovers, and like if you do that against the Zags might jump out to a 20-point lead at some point.
It could happen. I don't know about a 20-point lead, Dan, but maybe something like 10, 13.
But then they'll blow it.
Well, they both blow it, so that's the
will
problem.
not be decided until 5 minutes left in the second, like most of these games. It's like you could be up 15 at the end of the first half. It doesn't mean anything.
Right, and you know what, guys? The line has opened up with North Carolina as a 1.5-point favorite, and since you will not be on the show tomorrow, Dan, I'd like to know which side you're on tomorrow.
Well, first, I'd like to just say, can someone make sure that, T-Mac leaves his mortgage papers in the bank? just T-Mac, leave those mortgage papers in the bank. This is a tough one because I actually like the coaching in Gonzaga better. I think that Meeks could get eliminated in this game. I think you wipe him out. And again, the injury to Barry, I think those ankles are obviously still a big problem. I'm going to go with Gonzaga.
Wow.
And I haven't liked either of these teams all season, and they're both here, so it shows what I know about college hoop, right? But I think Gonzaga in a extremely close game. Again, I think this is going to be like tight.
Dream, I know where you're going. You're going with Roy Williams.
I think we lost the Dream.
Did we lose him?
Yeah, I see. The Dream might have, the wind or something.
Maybe when you said Gonzaga, he hung up.
I feel bad. T-Mac will be on the wharf. No, here's the thing. I mean, this is a game that, I've been betting a lot of the college hoop. And I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm going to touch this game. Obviously, we got baseball going, so I got other interests. But this is one of those that I think is just going to be a classically good game. Maybe I'll inline play it or something, but I don't think I'm going to be playing it from the start. You got any brief thoughts you want to share with me? I know you're going to fully get.
I like Gonzaga to go to the promised land. I think Gonzaga wins the game. But you know what? We'll break it down tomorrow because we got a lot of stuff to talk about and look at before.
Am I the only one, Hat, though? Is it me, or is it like a little silly when they're throwing the water in the air?
Yeah, kind of crazy.
I'm like, where's this? Oh, they can't have champagne. That's right.
Yeah. Throwing the water in the air, exactly. So, anyway, guys, talking about that, and, Gonzaga over South Carolina yesterday, they blew a huge lead and almost gave up that game.
Yeah.
I was at the bar. I was at the bar after my wife's surgery yesterday, and I was watching the game, and Gonzaga was up like 13, something like that. All of a sudden, I blinked my eyes. They're down 2. South Carolina is, and then they tied the game. I'm like, oh no! I'm like, is this really happening right now?
Yeah, no. I mean, crazy. But Gonzaga, they did the same thing to Northwestern.
Yeah, right.
And almost lost that game. South Carolina, obviously a hell of a season. You never thought they were going to make it to the Final Four. They probably should have won that game at the end. But they didn't. Gonzaga moves on, and now we have, I think, a matchup that a lot of people wanted to see this.
Yeah, I think so. I think Gonzaga is that just that Gonzaga with their success in March for the last 5 years. I mean, they've done really well in March.
Really well. Obviously, first time breaking through. But a lot of people are like, oh, this is their first time, and I'm like, guys, there's like a million college basketball teams, so like to get here is like unbelievable. Now, I wonder which would have drawn better though, Hat. South Carolina versus North Carolina, or Gonzaga versus North Carolina?
I say Gonzaga. I think Gonzaga is definitely just because of their success all year. They only lost one game, guys.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, before he comes back on, Dan, UConn women lost.
Yep.
Wow.
I was wondering if we were going to go there. You beat a team by 60 the year before. All I can say is that they came out and they played sloppy. They had a ton of turnovers, more turnovers than assists, which is like the first time in the whole record that's happened. And they got beat. They got beat. Unbelievable, but hey,
in overtime,
it happens.
Buzzer beater beat them, and a 111 game streak comes to an end. But you know what? Hey, big ups to them. I mean, come on, that kind of.
Oh, dude, I'll be honest. I'm taking them preseason to win the championship next year.
Preseason to win the championship.
Yeah,
Well,
we'll see what it pays out next year.
It's not gonna pay much. Probably got to lay $500 to make $100.
You think?
Oh yeah.
To win the tournament before the season starts next year.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. You think it'll be that bad?
I think so. It's always like that. They're so heavily favored. I mean, just their dominance. I mean, they've won. What is that? 4 consecutive championships? Or something
I know. But what this is showing you, right, is they had the record, they had the streak, they had a team they beat by 60 last year. Yep. I'm really curious to see what it'll be at. I mean, you're probably right. I mean, I probably have to lay something, but
I could always parlay it with something else, Danny.
Of course.
So, all right, brother. Well, without further ado, Dan, it's about that time.
It is.
It's about that time to break down opening day of the MLB, guys, and we're very excited about it. We're on Twitter. If you got any kind of contributions to the show, let us know, and we're more than happy to go through it with you. So here it is, Dan. MLB is ready to go.
I know, real games
that actually mean something. And right now there are there's 3 games on the ticket: a 1 o'clock, a 4 o'clock, and an 8:30. And we're gonna go right into it. Do you want to break down the 3 of them?
Yeah, let's just do it.
All right.
I love how MLB, by the way, did 3 games on opening day this year to keep you nice and happy. And then obviously tomorrow is a completely full slate. So,
absolutely.
Like I said, guys, even if I'm not on the show, I normally don't, tweet out things live, but I always am DMing. I have no problem DMing anybody my plays. Obviously, I don't charge. I'm no tout. I'm just having fun. So, this is the time that I like to try and shine. I think after last year, hey, 1 bad year in like 5. So I'm really excited for this year. So,
all right, sounds good. So first game on the ticket, we've got the New York Yankees versus the Tampa Bay Rays. American League East action. We got Tanaka versus Archer, kid. Yankees are favored -116, under over of 6.5, Dan. Where are you going here?
Yeah.
You got to play on this game or not?
I do. I really like Tanaka here. And, I think Archer bounces back a bit, and his spring has looked really good. But here's the thing. The New York Yankees will keep this game really close, I think, if not winning it through the first 6-7 innings. It's going to be a low-scoring game.
Okay.
You're going to get into that bullpen. The bullpen's going to decide it. And Betances and Chapman, that's all I got to say. Mm-hmm. I think that the Yanks hit a couple bombs, either off Archer or that middle relief, and they get a win here. This game popped off at even. Everybody was -105. So I'm jumping on the Yankees and Tanaka at -105. Because here's the other thing, Hat. If someone told you, like in July last year, when Archer had like a 4.5 ERA and Tanaka was ripping it up, that you could, even on the road, get the Yanks at -105, you'd be all over it.
Sure.
So, I got to keep riding that. This is also Tanaka's 3rd consecutive opening day. For what that means, I don't know. But I like the Yankees here. I don't know if you got any thoughts.
Well, I can tell you this much. that the Tampa Bay Rays and those unders, they almost came to form as much as the Chicago White Sox last year. This team just can't hit the ball. I don't know if have they made any acquisitions to their lineup to help them score runs, because they were brutal last year.
Their lineup is still not very good. I mean, if you're looking, they actually announced their opening day lineup already. And, look, I'm a fan of, like, Kevin Kiermaier and Evan Longoria. Brad Miller at second base, maybe. But, I mean, he's hitting cleanup for you. That's crazy. The rest of this lineup is pretty brutal. I mean, you have a light-hitting catcher, which normally isn't a problem, except your left fielder, who's supposed to be a position of power, is also light-hitting. You have a light-hitting shortstop. Your first baseman, Logan Morrison is not great, and he's your 6 or 5 hitter. So I still, a lot of analysts have been all over the Rays saying they're going to be great. I don't see it. I think they're, we went through the whole thing. I think they're going to be a bad team. I think the Yankees get to them today.
Dan, they do that every year with the Rays.
Oh, every year, dude. It's crazy. And, like, just one of those teams that, they love to, just say and annoying. But they're, the pitching is mediocre at best, guys. And the lineup is weak. They're going to, I think that Hatter, I think you're on to something. I think you monitor this team for the first few games, the first series against the Yanks, because they're going to face some pitchers that they should be able to hit. And if they don't hit them, I think you start right away riding the unders for the Tampa Bay Rays.
Absolutely.
7 today does not look bad either.
I'm seeing 6.5 here, so it might have jumped a little bit.
I had 7 as of last night. I'm going to pull up my book of choice. The other thing, guys, is, MLB is a long grind season. I would say I try and keep, the book that I use actually has a nice chart that shows you, game to game where you are. But if you don't have that, definitely make one. Yeah. So you can keep track of trends.
Right on. All right, so let's move over to the next one. We've got the NL
So you're
West.
taking the under?
I think I want to watch a little baseball before I do it, Dan.
Right on.
Pop a cigar. Sit back, because we got a little bit of 50-degree weather now. So, I mean, it's cigar weather for sure. We got the San Francisco Giants versus the Arizona D-backs. We got Bumgarner versus Greinke. San Fran minus 134, under over of 8. I'm curious to see, after last year's debacle, how Greinke recovers from that, if he even does.
I'm concerned, and I know if anybody's been watching, Greinke's velocity is also down.
Okay.
And so on top of not hitting his spots, he now can't throw that hard.
Okay.
I am all over the San Francisco Giants here.
You are?
Oh, yeah. They were popping off yesterday, I think, at minus 133.
Yep.
And you know me, anything under minus 140 for baseball, I'll take it if I like it. And that just, right now it's minus 136. I think that in Arizona, Bumgarner gets the job done. Greinke gets blown up today. I know a lot of people like the over 8.5, but I think I don't know who I'm going to give credit to here, so I apologize. But a lot of people are on the Giants team total over. Which I think is around 4.5. Okay. I like that play.
Sounds good. Yeah, especially in the desert, because the ball flies out of there.
Yeah, and the thing is, remember, spring training is in Arizona for both of these teams. So it's not like they're even traveling anywhere. They just went, they went right over to Arizona to the Diamondback Stadium, and they're ready to play baseball. They've been playing in the conditions. It's such a seamless transition that I don't think you have to worry about. No one's going into crazy weather. You don't have to worry about anything like that.
Right on. So, Dan, the next game on the ticket is the defending world champs, the Chicago Cubs versus the St. Lucia Cardinals. Cubs minus 120, under over of 7. Mr. Lester versus Mr. Martinez. It looks like we're going to have some decent weather there. Talk to me about this matchup here. The total, even though it's Lester, seems a little low to me.
Yeah, a little low. I mean, but as you said, the weather looks really good. The weather, we're looking at, maybe 62 degrees at first pitch, 65 and sunny. can't ask for better than that, on April 2nd. So, look, I have not touched this game. I think that St. Louis has like a recipe for beating Leicester, right? I mean, the guy cannot throw to bases. So if they get guys on, and I actually like St. Louis's lineup better this year than I did last year. I think their pitching is also better, minus Wainwright. I don't think he necessarily bounces back all the way, but Martinez is dope. I'm not touching this game yet. There's a reason, I'm not sure. Plus 120 for the Cardinals at home on opening day seems like it's almost begging me to take it. So I don't know if it's just that people are pounding the Cubs right now or what have you, but I'm leaning the Cardinals to win this game on opening day. And at plus 120, that's pretty favorable.
All right. Sounds good, man. So that's going to do it for MLB, guys. And listen, we got a big day today between baseball, between NBA, between NHL, and Dan, we have WrestleMania tonight.
Woo!
Yeah, man. So
hey, one thing I just got to add to people who might be new to placing baseball wagers is remember that there's different things, and if you don't notice it when you're making your wagers, you could kill yourself. Like if you I hate action bets. So an action bet is anybody could pitch. So if your starting pitcher gets injured 2 minutes before the game, doesn't matter. You're still playing that game. So you could definitely mitigate your damage. I do it all year. I almost never place an action bet unless there's something that goes like crazy in my favor. So always make sure that you're selecting your probable starters for your bet to kick off.
I have a different philosophy on that.
Oh, go ahead, man.
If I'm taking a major underdog, I'll take action all day because chances are that they're facing a really dominant pitcher on the other side, and if they scratch the pitcher, you're all set.
That's fair. That's fair. But I'm saying for the majority of your bets, if you're taking a massive underdog, right? And I would definitely agree with that. I'm just saying for people who don't even know that if they're going to lock in a bet at action or their pitchers. I'm sure most people listening do, but I figure I just throw it out.
Yeah, if I'm getting like a plus 280 when I'm facing Kershaw, and Kershaw for some reason gets scratched.
Oh yeah,
I'm laughing. You know what I mean? If anything, you just bet the other side and make money no matter what before the game happens. But I think we got Dream back.
Yeah, I am back. Sorry, guys. Dan, quick question as far as the San Francisco Giants Diamondbacks game. Any thoughts on the under 8?
So I was saying I don't know. I almost like the over because you're in the desert. I think Greinke gets shelled. Okay. Like I was telling Hat, his velocity's been down, and he's not hitting his spots, so that's a bad recipe. But I like the San Francisco Giants team total over. There's a couple other guys that are actually in our fantasy league Dream that know what they're talking about in regards to baseball who have thrown that out there as well. I think I'm taking all 3 money lines today, so I'll probably stay away from that one. But I think that could be where the money is if you're an over-under player.
San Francisco's got bats this year?
I think San Francisco's being fully healthy. I like their lineup. I actually like their lineup.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay.
Dream, did you come on because WrestleMania picks are coming out?
I came on. I came on because. No. It wasn't because of WrestleMania picks. I did come on. I wanted to hear the baseball, get involved with that, but I got knocked off. This thing's funny, gang. We go remotely on the weekends, just so you know. We go remotely a lot, but to be honest with you, and just sometimes I don't know either it's that system, my system, or whatever, but it does crash. I apologize for that. Did you guys finish? I'm assuming you finished up with the NCAA.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Any last thoughts?
What your thoughts about tomorrow's game was? Because I know you're not going to be on with us tomorrow. So your thoughts about who wins tomorrow?
As I said, I don't think I'm going to play it because I really think it's a true coin flip. I have a slight lean on Gonzaga.
Okay.
Yep.
Slight.
That's where it's at. And Dream, you and I will go over that tomorrow night.
We will go over that tomorrow. I did want to, though, hit you off with, because I know you did say that Gonzaga, let's not talk about schedule. Gonzaga got a big gift. A couple of big dogs got knocked out on that side. I mean, you lost Villanova, early from the top bracket. You lost Villanova and Duke. You also lost Arizona. So I just feel like Gonzaga's journey there, I'm not going to discredit them. Don't get me wrong. Whoever's listening, I know there's some Gonzaga fans out there, and I've been kind of, not feeling them most of the season, and I still don't, by the way. But I feel that their side of the bracket was they got some help because they ended up playing some teams that I don't think anybody foresaw them playing, especially coming out of that top. Nobody saw, South Carolina coming out of there. So that's the only thing I will say about Gonzaga's journey.
Fair enough. Got it. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for that. As far as WrestleMania is concerned tonight, I can tell you this much, that there's really, unless you're playing underdogs, there's really not a lot of money to be made here. Because you've got, massive, massive favorites here. They got Brock Lesnar minus 3,250 to beat Goldberg. You got Roman Reigns minus 900 to beat The Undertaker. You got Seth Rollins minus 1,750 to beat Triple H. You got Randy Orton minus 750 to beat Bray Wyatt, and you got AJ Styles minus 1625 to beat Shane McMahon. So, Dream, those are your numbers.
Those are my type of numbers, but not my type of event.
All right, sounds good, man. So, we're going to move on from there, and we'll get right into the NBA and see if we got anything. Yesterday, guys, double-digit dogs, 2-1. That's all I'm going to say about that. The LA Clippers failed to cover versus the LA Lake Show, and the Sacramento Kings went into Minnesota as a double-digit dog and won the game on the court. Something to take a look at and keep a look at, guys. And you know what? Some of my people back and forth on Twitter have been talking to me. They've been making a lot of money with double-digit dogs in the NBA, Dream. They've been doing real well.
That's great. Yesterday, though, however, first of all, LA Clippers, LA Lakers, other than I know the Lakers stink and are putrid, but that's a hard game to take. And I know the Clippers have beat the Lakers by a lot and covered a lot. But the Lakers are actually home in that game. That would be a hard double-digit dog to swallow. The other one was, what do you have? The Sacramento Kings, you said?
Yeah, they beat the Minnesota T-Wolves on the court. T-Wolves had no business whatsoever giving on. I think it was like 10.5 or 11.5.
Yeah, I was going to say that to me was a no business, but is impressive, and we do need to talk about the Portland Trailblazers right now, which was the game that stuck out to me. Irvin turned me on to them like a couple of weeks ago. We started. I'm not turned on, but just watching them in the last few weeks, they're on a 6-game winning streak right now. Mm-hmm. This team is playing lights out. Irvin hooked me up with them like twice this week. He threw it at me and said, maybe you should take a shot because they're trying to get in. I ended up banging them that night, ended up banging them the next night. And last night, I actually put Portland with North Carolina in a money line par and got rid of their points, which I didn't need to because they covered their spread. This Portland Trailblazers team, they're on fire right now. I don't know if you guys are paying attention to them.
Oh, yeah.
They're on fire. They're on a 6-game winning streak. And they're absolutely tearing it up right now. A lot of momentum. And it's funny because the beginning of the season, I wondered what had happened to them. Because last year, they had a little bit of momentum last year and they were playing well. Then the beginning of the season was abysmal for them. But it seems like they figured out some of their woes and have gotten back to winning ways. And this is a great time to catch fire. You know what,
Dream? I think it all started with the win at the Spurs.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Because ever since then, they've been 9-1 since that. Or 8-1, so 9-1 in the last 10. So the only loss coming to the Milwaukee Bucks by 3, but the rest of them, they beat the Nuggets, the Rockets, they beat the Knicks, they beat the Spurs, they beat the Hawks, they beat the Heat. That is pretty impressive as far as their resume is concerned. So, all right, let's get right into it and see if there's anything on the ticket as far as the NBA is concerned. I could tell you this much, that there are some double-digit underdogs today. There's actually there's two that I'm looking at right now. It's really tough to take the 76ers plus 10.5, but obviously that experiment continues, and I have to do it. So I'm going to take the Philadelphia 76ers plus the points, and the Phoenix Suns facing the Houston Rockets in Phoenix. They're plus 11. They've lost 11 in a row. I'm going to take them plus the 11 points at home. Dream, you see any spots here in the NBA?
Well, I definitely see a spot, and I'm going back to Cleveland again. Now, Cleveland punched everybody in the face.
Oh, yeah.
I believe it was Thursday night.
Brutal.
It was a brutal loss. to the Bulls. Cleveland comes out, starts off really hot, looks like they're going to dominate the game.
Yep.
Out of nowhere, the Bulls come back and beat them, which is to me was crazy, an embarrassing loss. Some of you guys know, as I did it Friday, I came back stubbornly Friday and doubled down on Cleveland against the 76ers, which they absolutely went ham, beat the Sixers 122-105. And then, of course, the adversity's been going on in the background behind the scenes with all the talk about the Cavs and their dominance and they're not being that good. What's wrong with them? You're hearing a lot of that rhetoric back and forth. We know that LeBron loves to respond to that type of rhetoric when it goes on. Also, what's happened is the Boston Celtics have taken a lead as far as the Eastern Conference, as far as home court advantage against the Cavs. So now today you have the Cavs coming off a big win, well, not a big win, but coming off a win against the Sixers, which they, went ham on the Sixers. Cavs are playing the Pacers today at home. It's a 6 o'clock start. I really like the Cavs against the Pacers today. I think they bounce. I think they continue a little bit of the momentum that they started on Friday. Get back to playing team basketball. Get back to playing defense. Now, the one thing about the Cavs I will say, I still like how they've been playing defensively. Mm-hmm. The problem is finding somebody else offensively to step up. When Kyrie or LeBron aren't playing, that's been their issue as far as I'm concerned. They're not getting that play out. I know J.R. Smith just returned. He's not really giving them that boost that they really need. Some of the other elements of this team, it's you need that player out of nowhere to get you that 10 to 15 points, to scoring that low when LeBron maybe isn't scoring or when Kyrie's maybe hitting the bench. The other thing I have noticed, LeBron James's perimeter shooting has been a little bit dusty this season.
You think? he's missed like 11 threes in a row or something like that.
Yeah. The perimeter shooting's been really bad this season. If you want to put your fingerprint on anything, I think you can look in that direction as far as the Cleveland Cavs' losses. I don't know if he's expending more energy on the defensive end of the court. The dunks have been ridiculous.
Yep, of course.
So maybe here's the problem with Tyronn Lue as the coach, though, because I don't know I have a whole hell of a lot of faith in him figuring this thing out or him being able to tell LeBron, listen, perimeter shooting's not happening for you right now. I need you in the post, because I still see LeBron at the 3-point line floating around.
You know what's a crazy stat about that, though, guys? When LeBron plays on back-to-back days, like 0 days of rest,
sure,
he's almost 40% from three.
Really?
But the more days off, so when he has a day of rest, 379, so like almost 38%. And then 2 days of rest, under 34%. And then 3 days of rest, he's actually like 33%. So like, I'm with you. I think that, the longer he's rested, it gets dusty. But again, it's going to be interesting for the playoffs, because the less rest he has, the more of the better his jump shooting actually is all around.
All right.
Right.
Well, guys, I got a spot. Are you done with that game?
I got one spot.
All right, Dan.
Okay, so
I actually got a spot here because, and I'm going to slam this, and I don't do a lot of NBA betting, but I'm looking around, and I'm sorry, I got to slam Golden State at -9.
Ooh, wow! Versus the Wizards.
The Wizards. All right, this is their 5th road game. They won the first 2 at Cleveland and at the Lake Show. Okay, great. The Clippers and the Jazz just beat them back to back. Now they got to go into Golden State, who is the hottest team by far in the NBA. Mm. I mean, they've been blowing teams away. I mean, they just beat up on the Rockets, beat them. I think that they smashed the Wizards tonight.
Ooh, -9.5 points. Yikes!
I'm
got a lot of balls
at
doing
9.
That. Yeah, no, I get it. But Dream, any thoughts there? That's a great game.
I like the game. I'm not going to play the spread. I will get them in a money line situation, and I like them in a money line with Cleveland. The two of them together. I do like the Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Golden State is on a 10-game winning streak, as Dan said, on fire. They did struggle with the Rockets a little bit, though, which I found puzzling. Well, I shouldn't say puzzling.
And still beat them by 9.
Still beat them by 9, yeah. They didn't cover their spread, though.
Yep. For sure.
And you know how to. To me, Golden State is built to murder the Rockets because the Rockets are a three-point shooting team. You miss those threes, you get long rebounds, it starts transition. And Golden State, thrives in transition. So I found that a little bit odd with them. But like you said, Dan, they are on fire right now. They're winning. They're playing good. This is a great time for him to be gelling, getting ready to go into the playoffs. I agree with you, Golden State against the Wizards. Wizards been tough, though, this year. I think the Wizards taking the step around the corner, but I don't think
great on the road, though.
Not great on the road.
And still not enough talent, I think, to get involved with this Golden State team, especially Golden State at home. I like Golden State to get it done.
All right, guys.
What I want to know also in the NBA, when you go on like a long road trip, like 3 games or more, and the last game before you go home, because they go home after this game, they get to go home for like one night. I just, because it's the NBA and maybe I just feel like, again, if the Wizards are going to, they've dialed it in the last 2 games. There's no reason. I mean, they only scored 88 points against the Jazz on Friday. I mean, and then they let up 133 against the Clips. I mean, I don't know. So I just think that Golden State not only will hold them, under 100 points, but will probably put up 120 plus.
All right, guys. If I can get this line at 3 o'clock, I'm going to try to do it like right before I leave the office here. But I'm going to take who I think is the real MVP this year, and I'm going to take the Oklahoma City Thunder minus the 4.5 points. Major, massive play over the Charlotte Hornets today to cover the spread, minus 4.5. OKC gets it done. Westbrook has been insane. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to what he's doing, but, I mean, he is in and out of the news.
Guy?
Unbelievable what he's been doing. And you know what? We didn't get a chance to talk about this, but you know what? The other night, they were down 13 points to the Mavs with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left. 3:30. Their live line had to be plus 5,000. They come back and win the game on a 14-0 run with 3.5 minutes. Westbrook gets it done. Charlotte is 13-24 on the road, winners of 2 straight. OKC coming off the loss the other night, and they have had a couple nights off now. Dream, I'm taking OKC big today.
Talk about what OKC is. Even though Russell Westbrook is thriving and playing off the charts, other members of this team are starting to step up. I've been watching a little bit of them play. Their gameplay, the players around him are starting to step up as well and fit into this system and play nicely. OKC is going to be a thorn in the side in this playoffs when the Western Conference playoffs do start. This team's, I'm watching him, and I'm watching him start to gel more and more as the season goes on. And I think some of the other players on this team, you might need to start talking about slightly because
they have really good big play. Their big play has been really good to combine with Westbrook. And the thing is, they have bigs that can pass the ball. Cantor can pass the ball. Adams can pass the ball. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't agree more. I think they're going to be a really fun team to watch in the playoffs.
Dream, this might be like a nickel play. Minus the 4 points. Yeah, I like this play a lot, man. Listen, guys, you know what? Do whatever you want out there, but this is for me, and I'm doing it. And the thing is, too, is Taj Gibson is a great acquisition to this team. And he is day-to-day right now with an illness, but he's questionable. I hope he suits up and plays today. I'm all over it.
The only thing I worry about with OKC is, I know OKC thinks that they can run with anybody, and I'm not going to discredit that because Russell Westbrook can run with anybody. I just don't know if everybody around him. I don't want to see them get into a running match with the Hornets. Hornets are a fast team. I think you're right. I do think OKC wins. I just don't want to see them try to get in a transition game with the Hornets because the Hornets are a little bit fast and the Hornets will want to run. So I just would rather see them, play their type of basketball and make the Hornets settle for your half court set. And I think OKC. I actually agree with you. OKC should win that game.
All right, sounds good. But that's it for me. I mean, you got the Utah Jazz versus the San Antonio Spurs. I would expect a defensive struggle matchup there.
You love the Jazz.
I do love the Jazz. Jazz are good, man. Kid, they're 18 games over 500. I don't know if you've been paying attention.
Go get some, man.
Nah. And they have there are 4 games over 500 on the road as well. This team is good. I mean, their only loss in the last 5 games was at the Clippers. They've been handling their business. But I think the Spurs will beat them today, provided that they're full strength. But I'm not going to take that game. And just looking at the rest of the landscape here, you got the Memphis Grizzlies on the road at the L.A. Lake Show. Don't be surprised if the Lake Show sneaks them, because this Memphis Grizzlies team stinks, in my opinion. And other than that, I'm good.
I would be surprised if the Lake Show sneaks them, though.
Well, this would be the game.
Because the Lake Show stinks.
They're terrible. Oh, my God. Are they worse this year than last year, Dream? I know they were brutal last year.
It didn't seem like it at the beginning of the season. And after Magic came on and whatever's going on with the Buzz family, it's like it's all just imploded out of nowhere.
Big
and
time.
you talk about stink.
Right on.
It's amazing. It's amazing. The cloud between L.A. and New York,
Yep.
No kidding, right?
All right,
Good
so
God.
we're going to move over to the NHL because all the favorites have been coming to form. Guys, if you have been betting favorites in the NHL in the last week, you have to be like 80, 85%. No BS. I mean, it's real. Go back and look at it. It's absolutely insane. It's like 85 or 90%. I'm talking like 5-1 nights, 6-1 nights, 7-0, like stupid. I've been paying attention to it.
That's because for some reason, I don't know why, but just the way the schedule worked out, in this last week and a half, you had teams solidify their playoff spot playing teams that were eliminated. So you had like one team that really cared and the other team that was making vacation plans.
Yeah, exactly. Right on.
And by the way, you got 3 teams today. We're not going to get deep into the hockey, but you have 3 teams today that are going that are looking to get playoff spots and are still alive, playing against teams that are eliminated. Which, if you've been going after that, with the exception of Friday, I think Friday there was one giddy up on Friday, and that was. The Blues. The Blues lost to the Avalanche, which was an awful loss. St. Louis still gets in, but I thought the Blues were going to win. If that one had won, believe it or not, we would have been probably flying out to Costa Rica. But the Blues ended up going down to the Avalanche on Friday, and that was a little glitch in the system there. But it did go into overtime, which worked out nice. As far as today is concerned, you got 3 teams playing that are all still alive in the playoffs, trying to get into the wild card, playing against teams that have been eliminated. For the starters, you got the New York Islanders playing against the Sabres. Now, the only issue with the Islanders is Tavares is week to week right now for the Islanders, who's their main scorer. It's going to be an interesting matchup today. I know the Buffalo Sabres they're done. They're out. They've been eliminated. Islanders are planning to play for a wild card spot. They need somebody to step up. Hopefully this works maybe in their favor where they play a little bit more team instead of looking more for Tavares to score. So I still like the Islanders in this spot because Buffalo's just putrid. It's a 3 o'clock time start for this game, guys, so keep that in mind.
All right.
The other game that we have is we got the Tampa Bay Lightning playing against the Dallas Stars. The Stars have been eliminated as well. They're all done. The Lightning are at home and they're still playing. They still have some life, so I would expect that the Lightning will come to play today. I'm giving you, you're looking at, if you're going to bet hockey today, in my opinion, have something to play for. I'm not going to get involved with other teams. A lot of these other teams don't have anything to play for. Yeah, they still may win their games, but they don't have as much to play for. Lightning have a lot to play for. Stars do not, other than, maybe for their own pride. But the Stars team has not been good most of the season, so I do like the Lightning in this spot. And last but not least, which is tough for me because I have not liked the LA Kings all season. The LA Kings have not played good hockey for most of the season. However, this is their time in the year. They are still alive in this race, and they're playing against the Coyotes, who have been eliminated as well. So you got the Islanders, the Kings, and the Lightning are all 3 teams that still have playoff life, playing against teams that are eliminated. I think that out of the 3, I honestly think the Lightning is probably your best best bet or your best shot as far as winning today. I like the Lightning the most. Then I would go Kings and then Islanders. If you want to put them in a 3-team par, you can put them in a 3-team par. If you want to mix them with the basketball, I like the Cavs, the Golden State Warriors, and I think I'm going to add OKC to that bunch as well.
All right, sounds good, guys. So that's going to do it for us. One gem I do have for everybody, and I should have did it when we were talking about the WWE. Sami Zayn to win the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Just went from minus 135 to minus 210 just in that time, in like 20 minutes. So if you can get minus 210, do it now, because there's a very, very, very good chance he's going to win it. So especially with that stream, the sharps are on him with that line movement.
Yeah.
All right. Guys, that's going to do it for us. I think we had a great show today. Thank you guys for joining us. It's good to be back. And that is it. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to recap our stuff and see where we're at. And I will start with the evil genius of Major League Baseball. Dan, where you at?
All right, yeah, man. So, again, happy opening day to everybody.
Yes.
Always one of my favorite days of the year. We're going to go with the Yanks, the Giants, and the Cardinals. We're going to money line them all. Get them, obviously shop your lines. Baseball in particular, it's pretty important that you do that. And then I'm going to rock with Golden State minus 9 points against the Wiz tonight.
Right.
Again, let's get that money.
All right, Dream, where you at?
All right, I'm going to go. First of all, let's get into thanking everybody that's retweeted the show this morning, as we appreciate that always. Give me 1 second to pull that up. It looks like we've got, let's see, I'm sorry. Here we go. I don't have it. Hold on 1 second. Benjamin Rowe, Terrence Mack, Vegas Jack, Shane Whitehead, and Terrence Mack, you must be happy as North Carolina wins yet again and is going into tomorrow. We are going to break down tomorrow, 6 o'clock. We'll be here again, Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. We'll break down tomorrow. I don't think there's any big mystery who I like, but we will get into that tomorrow, Hat and I. Terrence Mack is in, Terrence Mack, I know you must be going crazy with your team winning. CK Wins is in the house. We got OJFB out there, Fast Eddie 72, Direct Sports Solution as well. Good to see you, Mr. Charlie. Cash Action Bets, Gary Bouchard. Vegas Girl 92661, always in the house. Jim Rome is a douche guy out there. Joseph Del Rosario, good to see you as well. Rick Lopez, big shouts out to you. Sin City Maverick is helping us out, and so many more. So here's where we're at today as far as I'm concerned. In the NBA, I do like the Cavs and the Golden State Warriors. That's probably going to be a money line part of me. I am also thinking about OKC with Hat, but if I do OKC, it will be a separate by themselves wager. Cavs Golden State money line parlay. I want to just reduce the points, get rid of all of that. On the hockey end, we're going to look at the Lightning, the Kings, and the Islanders. I am not quite sure how I'm putting that together yet, gang. Only because I do like them, but they are on the road, and I don't like that Tavares is not playing. That's really bothering me that Tavares isn't playing. But that's where I'm at as far as that is concerned. I'm the Dream. Always remember who you with. Make the most of each and every day, as you cannot get this time back. All
right, guys, and I am on the Oklahoma City Thunder to cover the 4.5 because it's going to be a larger wager. I'm going to buy it down to 4. I never usually buy hooks unless it's like getting a 3.5 in football or getting it down to 2.5 or whatever. But when it's a larger wager, I always do it. So I'm going to get it down to 4 points, and I'm going to take the OKC Thunder -4 tonight. Guys, we love you to death. Enjoy your weekend. Hopefully you got good weather, and get that money. Let's go.
Peace.